This is the Canon 4000D. It's got an 18 megapixel APS-C sensor with pretty good performance overall. This is the Sony A7rii, the 42.4 megapixel beast from 2015. I've had this camera for about a week now, and all I can say is, holy shit, it's f***ing amazing. I have most of the features written down because there are just so many I want to talk about, so here we go. So yeah, this camera has 42.4 megapixels inside of it, inside the sensor. It's a full frame camera with Sony E mount, so a wide range of lenses and great resolution. It can record amazing video up to 4K 25 frames or 1080p 100 frames, or it can go down to standard definition, which is 720p. The autofocus is really fast and really good. It has so many features, like so many modes of autofocus. It's insane. It has 399 autofocus points, like on the sensor, or they are called phase detect points, which is basically a really fast and advanced, like high-speed way to focus a subject in a shot. The low light performance is amazing. The ISO goes down to 50 and all the way up to 102,400, which is insane to think about. The EVF and the flippy screen are incredible. I mean, as a beginner, you can't ask for much more than that. And the EVF is amazing. I'll see if I can show you right now, actually. So yeah, don't know if you can see that. My hands are not stable whatsoever because this camera is quite heavy. When you don't have a battery inside, when you like take the lens off and you don't have the battery inside, it comes in at around 500 grams. When you add all of that, I could probably predict it's around 800 grams to 1 kilo, depending on the lens you have. Obviously, I've got a Samyang 35mm f2.8, so yeah, it's quite small, quite compact. But yeah, I will say, as a beginner, if you are a beginner watching this video, do not get a prime lens. I only got this lens because it came with the camera. It was secondhand, it came with the camera. And I just really wanted to shoot on it. But it is good, 35mm is good, but it's just not, it's a prime lens, so it's not really enough. It's not like a zoom lens where you can experiment and find your preferred focal length. What really helps with the EVF and the screen's like quality is basically you can, like when you take a photo, you can judge how good it is based on what you see in front of you. With the Canon 4000D, the viewfinder and the screen on the back were like subpar, so I couldn't really tell if my photo was in focus or not, or if it was good enough until I brought it home an hour later and then found out it's kind of crap. So yeah, overall the ergonomics of the camera is really good. When I place my hand on it, everything is like where it needs to be. My thumb is like on the back, so I can just easily, so my hand's there, I can just easily use my thumb to just toggle the ISO or like toggle the autofocus mode, and obviously the on and off button, the shutter button. The on and off is a switch. The shutter button is literally where my first finger is. So yeah, it's really easy, and my second hand naturally goes here, so obviously it's more stable. You're most likely gonna not be doing like one-handed sort of photography with this because it is quite a heavy camera in one hand, so you will probably be using two hands when holding the camera, which makes it easier for your thumb to access all of the stuff on the back. The record button is here. This red and black button is here, so when I'm doing vlogging, when I hold it like this, I find it hard for my finger or like for my fingers to like find and press the record button because it's on the side instead of like around the back where I can sort of hold it like more steady. But one easy fix is just literally press record and then put your hand in a comfortable position and then start like vlogging. That's if you are doing a vlog sort of video. But like I said before, the camera's pretty heavy, so you're going to be holding it with two hands anyway, so you could just literally press the record button and then just start recording if you're not the subject of the video or the film. It's just really nice and it just feels really good. The camera itself like feels really sturdy. Like this thing ain't gonna fucking break. This ain't gonna break in a million years. And all the compartments are really easy to access. You just sort of push them out. That's the memory card, and then that's the battery slot. You just do that, and then there's the battery. I would recommend getting 2 or 3 batteries for this camera though, because the depending on how you're going to use this or how frequent you're going to use this, the battery does die pretty quick. That's one little thing I've noticed as well. But yeah, the body of the camera is strong. The E-mount is very strong. Like this lens is not falling off. I could hold the camera like this all day and this lens ain't coming off. With the 4000D, it's a plastic body, so like if I dropped it, I think it would break really easily. I've dropped this about twice now in the span of 1 week, and it's completely fine. It works just the same as it did before, and yeah, it's really, really good. Even the flippy screen, like when I flip it out, this thing ain't breaking because it's metal. I'm pretty sure anyway. Either that or it's a really strong, dense plastic. But yeah, overall, the ergonomics of this camera are really good. So a couple problems with the camera. One problem with the camera, one problem with the lens that I've already mentioned. The lens is really nice. I will say that is really nice. It's got a really nice, like, what do you call it, the bokeh. Like when you go down to f2.8, it's just dreamy. It's really good. But it is a 35mm only. But yeah, so it's fine for now. But 35mm and only 35mm can only get you so far. Like I've had times where I may have needed like an 85mm or like 105mm because I saw a composition like really far away. I still take it, like the photo, but I just crop it in and it's not as good quality. But that doesn't really matter when you've got 42 megapixels in the sensor. So yeah, it's just a little thing. Nothing really wrong with the camera, just the lens. If you're a beginner, definitely stick to zoom lenses until you find a comfortable focal length that you want to shoot at. Everything that I've just said in the last few minutes doesn't really matter because it's all on paper, it's all in theory. So I thought, why not go out and test it? Test this camera, test the footage, and I'll do a couple comparisons between the footage, and I'll look at the JPEGs, I'll look at the RAW files, and yeah, so a couple days ago I went out to the forest and I took some photos and took some video. I recorded on S-Log2, which is a professional picture profile used by Sony cameras in cinema, like in the films you see in the cinema, which is pretty awesome considering, look at this thing. Does it look like a cinema camera? Not really, but yeah, so it's recorded in 4K 25 frames S-Log2, and I took raw photos uncompressed. So yeah, hope you enjoy. Alright, pretty much I'm just about to go out for a little photo shoot. Literally just an hour. Going around some of my favourite locations, like locally, literally 10-minute walk from my house. Hopefully, I'll get some good stuff. And yeah, also, I forgot to mention I'm using I don't know how to say the brand name. I have to get the box up. Samyang. I'm using a Samyang f2.8 lens, prime lens, with the Sony A7rii, recording with S-Log 2 or 3, I don't know, but it looks really bland right now, and I'm about to make it look really colourful. Alright, I'm about to go shoot in the forest. I've shot here before, so yeah, and yeah, still shooting on the Samyang 35mm. A bit distracted because I've got music in. This is what I do, I just put music in, take photos, and yeah. Okay, just got out of the woods. Just had a really good talk with like a couple who's like the husband was like a photographer, or is a photographer, and then we just talked for ages about like lenses, cameras, obviously normal stuff, and like different types of photography, like where I'm at and where he is. He's obviously a lot further than me. I've been doing this for like not even half a year yet, so yeah, it was a really good talk. Glad they were nice, and that's another thing about this camera, is it's smaller than I expected, and the lens is small on this, so it's conspicuous, and that's like very, very good, especially when you're doing like stuff like street photography and stuff like that. So yeah. Okay, right, that was the photo shoot. Still outside, just walking home now, because I did take a lot of photos today. And yeah, so I shot them, they were raw files, uncompressed, so no JPEGs, none of that shit. So yeah, and I'm gonna just compare them to the Canon photos. I've tried to replicate some photos, but I mean, it's such a big upgrade that photos speak for themselves. You don't really need to make the same photos to have it as a fair test, because this camera is good anyway. So yeah, see you when I get back inside. So one thing that's always been said about the A7rii II and Sony cameras in general is the low light performance is really good, and I've gone over it before, like in this video, but I really wanted to put it to the test. So I went out at night to the train station and to the bridge that you go past or you go over to get to the train station near my house, and I did my first attempt at not only night photography, proper night photography, but also long exposures. So I've never done a long exposure before. So yeah, here are the results.
Just come out for a bit. Sorry, the footage is really grainy. Just come out for a bit with the A7rii II. Going to do some long exposure on the bridge. You might be able to hear it, maybe not, but we're going to see what we get. This is the bridge in question. Sorry the footage is a bit blurry, but yeah, so we're just going to try and get some long exposure, do a little test shot. I've done low light photography, which I'll show up on the screen right now. But yeah, so sorry if it's a bit loud, but yeah. Right, A7rii II long exposure test, here we go. shit out. Check this out. What the fuck? What is going on? I swear to God, look. Oh my God, we got some bangers. Oh, well, it's a bit shit. We've got some bangers. We're getting bangers, boys. Come on. If you want to see the photos in full, I'll show them here. I'll show some of them here, but they're going to be on my Instagram, which is in the link in the description below. Go follow it, show some love, and yeah. Unfortunately, comparing the Canon and the Sony isn't possible for this video because I rarely have the Canon on me now. I didn't have it on me today or this evening, so yeah. But we just proved how fucking amazing this camera is, so yeah. Subscribe for more, I guess. Right. Okay. Having reviewed this camera, I think it's really, really good. It was definitely a worthy investment, a really worthy upgrade from my measly little Canon 4000D with its slow autofocus, its poor ISO, its poor low light quality, and its poor photo quality really. I mean, it had good photo quality, but not nearly as good as 42.4 megapixels in this Sony camera. I think, especially for a beginner, it's more than enough. I think maybe even too much. It was very overwhelming for me at first when I was going through all the settings of the Sony A7rii and I was just testing out everything. And yeah, so I'm throwing photos on the screen right now. Just for you to get a broader idea of how good this camera actually is and how good it can be. But it's not really about the camera, it's about you. It's about how good you are at using the camera. Of course, the camera comes into it, the camera's how the photo's taken and how good the photo is going to look in terms of like technical quality. But you control the camera, you control what happens to the camera, you control how it like sees the picture and takes the picture really. So it's all down to you, I suppose. But yeah, no, this camera is definitely a really, really good tool to getting your imagination and to getting your ideas like on the move. This can open up a lot of doors for you, especially if you're looking for like professional work. Like this camera is definitely going to open up some doors for you because of the like tech specs, if you will. And yeah, it's just overall a really good camera. I've said what I need to say about it, but yeah, overall I'm definitely going to be using this for the next 2, 3 to 4 years, probably maybe 10 years. I'm not really sure, but when I think about how much I spent on it and how much use I'm gonna get out of it, it just blows my mind. So yeah, that's all I have to say. Subscribe if you want to, like if you want to. All the photos will be on my Instagram, link in the description, and it's also going to be somewhere here at the bottom of the screen. So yeah, bye bye.